He's a well-known speaker at ClubHack, and today his talk is on data theft in India.
So, good afternoon everybody. My talk is called Data Theft in India. Okay, in case you're expecting some new exploits or any new tools, unfortunately you won't see any of that. I'm a little away from, I've got a great team that does all of that. So I push them to speak on those sorts of topics. So my filing for my talk is that it is CD bath and no bakwas, okay? Because we've got a very, very serious problem on our hands. And it is high time to get into the depth of that and explore that, okay? So just a quick introduction about myself, although you covered a couple of the most important points, but just in case it doesn't hurt to self-publicize. So I've got two companies. One is Network Intelligence, started in 2001, primarily into consultancy around information security, and I've got a training company called Institute of Information Security. I've got most of the relevant certifications to ensure that billing rates sustain at the right levels. I love talking, and I've spoken at multiple conferences. I started in Black Hat 2004, Interop in the US 2005, spoken at Interop a few years back, maybe the slides not that updated. I also do manage to get a lot of free time regularly, and so I spend that writing. So I'm the co-author of two books. One is on Metasploit and one is on Linux security, and also a whole bunch of articles. So about a decade of experience doing pen test, security audits, forensics, trainings, what have you. Right? The agenda for today's talk is essentially that I want to show you what's the ground reality in terms of where our data is, and I'm sure that most of you have been at the receiving end of data theft, which I will now prove to you. We look at some recent news articles, not too much of food, we'll stick to the facts, and then we get to the real juice of it, which is an actual financial institution whose data, and it's just one of the big financial institutions whose data is out there available for a price. So how did it get there? What is the sort of data that is available? What should that company have done to fix this issue? So on and so forth. We'll explore some of these points. And we look at the challenges in the Indian context. Okay, what are the challenges that exist that prevent data from actually being protected as it should be? Okay. And we'll try and end on a bit of a positive note, which is look at solutions and look at things that need to get fixed before we have an environment of actual data protection in India. Okay? So, let me ask you this. How many of you have opened up a new bank account, bought a new mobile phone, or bought a new mutual fund, or opened up a trading account, or bought a new insurance policy in the last 3 to 6 months? Anybody? Most of us, right? So what have you? Mutual funds. You invested in mutual funds. Did you open up a new account for it? Or you opened up a new account for it? How about you, Karuna?
Trading.
You opened up a trading account. Okay. Anybody else? So we all constantly do this, right? I mean, we constantly go out and open accounts, fill up forms. Most of us don't even fill up forms. We have some agent come and fill up, we just sign, right? Now, right after you did this, did you get SMSs or calls or contacts from related people? For example, you opened up a trading account, right? Did you get a call from an insurance company or from a mutual fund or a home loan or a loan company offering you something suddenly out of the blue? I mean, more than the normal frequency of this pesky calling that we have. Did it just increase? Was it related to what you just did, if you recall? Right? It does happen, right? We've all been subjected to this. And what do we do when this happens?
Not just the bank account, but I got a government action from the bank, so suddenly the bank's insurance people and the bank.
So the bank is a special case, right? So that they've got this huge centralized database of every citizen in the country. So Nandan delegation should go to the banks. And he will finish his UID database in like a matter of weeks. So sister companies is okay. But you also find other competing companies calling you up. Okay? So you find companies from different companies, not the same group companies, also calling you. This is fairly ridiculous. I don't want, if I buy a broadband account, to start being cross-sold insurance policies and mutual fund and trading accounts, right? But it happens, right? And it happened to me very, very recently. I had a loan with a bank called Kotak Mahindra Bank. Okay, customer of ours, but I hate that bank. Okay, they were charging me 15% interest rate. So I wrote them a letter saying, oh, I'm a small medium company and you're screwing my happiness, so please reduce your rate. They didn't. I went to one of those agents, who get you the loans, and he got me 3 banks who were offering me 11%. Immediately from Kotak, I got a letter saying we're reducing from 15% to 11%. So I said, still screw you, I'm going to shift my loan to this other company. Okay? I shifted the loan in a matter of months. All that I was screwed. Funnily, I get a call 1 week later from Kotak Mahindra Bank. Sir, do you want a commercial loan? I said, I just transferred a commercial loan out of your company, and you're offering me a commercial loan again. That's like rubbing salt on goods. The agent who got the whole loan authorized for me, and I get a call from the same agent. Sir, do you want a commercial loan? I said, I just went for a commercial loan through your agency, and you're offering the same thing to me again, right? So this sort of thing is happening very, very frequently, right? We're all subjected to it. Most of us say, yeah, this is the way of life, this is how India works, right? And we move along, okay? But since we are security professionals and we are here to solve problems, we need to dig in a little deeper and see what the real issues are, okay? So the bottom line is that we've all been hacked, okay? All our data is out there and it is available for a price. Okay. Now I'm going to go a little deeper. If you know, sometime back RSA had done a study, right? They released a document on what is the price for each record. Anybody seen this RSA study? Right? It's about $1, $2, $5, at which each record is being sold. Now let's look at what the price in India exists. Okay. So it's not paranoia. It's actually happening. We've all been at the receiving end of it. Some recent news. Anybody know this travel site? Do you know this one? The CEO of a travel site was caught for stealing data from a competitor. He was put in jail. No? This is Clear. Travel City accused Clear of actually stealing their entire customer and transaction database. Okay, this guy was in jail for a few days. Anybody know this case? Anybody's heard of just that? We all use it, right? Do you know this case? Not please. This is brilliant. So Just that is one of the leading local search companies in India, right? And we are so used to, some of us don't know Just That, but 8888, right? And this is public, so I can talk about it. And unfortunately what happens is now their technology team is pretty good at technology. And they're very passionate about the company. So they hear a new site has come up. So they go to this website, the site happens to be AskMe.in, which is a Infomedia Yellow Pages company. Which is CNBC and Network 18 group, okay, supposed to be ethics and everything in place. So you go to the AskMe.in and puts in the word test, which we all do, right? And you see the internal test data coming up on their site. Okay, data that is not even available on their site. Okay, pretty shocking. They find records of things like Crown TV. Nobody sells Crown TV anymore, right? So if you build a database of local businesses, you wouldn't build somebody who's selling Crown TV. Right, so where did all of this data come from? Okay, I'll go a little deeper into this in a while. Two guys were stealing data from job portals, whacking away Naukri.com and timejobs.com, right? Huge gigabytes of data from their systems. So all this is beginning to happen, and this is the RSA study I was talking to you about, which is the dollar pricing, right? It's not relevant to us because we've got rupee pricing now for these records. Okay, so we know at what price each record is being sold. And there is a price for a record that gets converted to a competitor's business. So this is a huge underground market that is existing and nobody cares about it, nobody is looking to fix this issue. Okay? This is the RSS study that we have. So this is the example. If you're from Bombay, you're pretty used to this. You go out to BT station and you can buy CDs of databases. Right? Anybody seen this outside major stations? And of course, you get stuff like this, right? All over the place. In fact, I was just doing a quick Google search, right? Just put in anything, Axis Bank database, right? And I'm not saying this is a particular company's problems, but you get databases sorted by, location. You get database sorted by is he or she a car owner? Is he an HNI, not an HNI? And look at the price. Look at the price. It's not even in cents because 1 cent would be 50 paisa. So you don't have an equivalent currency in dollars or cents. It's 2 paisa per record. Okay. And this is not crappy data, this is data that actually works. And I'll tell you why this data works, why this is accurate data, and why there is such a big market for this. Okay? So Axis Bank shareholders who are HNIs, who are SME companies, private limited companies, all sorts of stuff. Buy state, go to HDFC Bank, get 1.25 lakh corporate companies. The emails are really crappy because they're all created with software, with code. This is very interesting. This particular person, Kubuda M-Web, is selling ICICI Bank data, and the payment goes also to an ICICI Bank account. I will talk about irony, right? Right? Share trading database, this is the most common. Right? You open up a demat account, I guarantee you will get a call from a competing company offering you a trading account or a demat account or personal wealth management services. Right? It's guaranteed to happen. Because this data is out there, and I'll tell you why it's out there. Okay, I'll tell you how the whole structure works, how the system works, why this data is out there. Yeah, this is tough. I mean, it's all over the place, really. Right? So, what's the price for a record in India then? Just a few paise, right? And all this data means money, because if Reliance data goes to Bajaj Alliance, they convert those records, right? They try and win those customers over. So there's a huge amount of money involved in all of this. So we looked at these online examples, and now I'll get into the real case. The real case is that this secondary market that exists has a price of 75 rupees for a fresh record. And I'm not talking about a name, email address and a phone number. I'm talking about the policy number, the cover amount, the premium, the years for which the cover exists, right? Every piece of information that a competitor would know to steal that customer away. That's the 75 rupees. If the customer gets converted, then there's another price for it, which is when you know that this insurance is ending in 3 years and you win this customer over from A to B, you pay 150 rupees for that record. Okay, so that's the market that exists, and we'll get into a particular case. Okay, this is a financial institution. Pick any industry, pick mutual fund, insurance, whatever you like, and pick any company name. Right? We all know various companies. We're not going to get into which company it is. Right? So it's a large business house, no names, gets a little late into the financial industry, financial services game, right? But they've got loads of cash, so now they go very, very aggressive, push for huge amounts of market share. So there's a huge marketing blitz, offices open up nationwide. This is a few years back, aggressive marketing, huge ad spends on TV and so on and so forth. The customer base begins to widen up, assets under management, AUM, rises phenomenally, okay? And within a couple of years, they're within the top 5 private companies in that domain. Okay, whatever you call it, insurance, mutual fund, equity trading, whatever you call it. However, what we have done to fix this issue? This issue came to their notice a year back. What should they have done to fix this? Obviously, their customer database is getting leaked out, right? So what should they do? Let's talk technology, because we all come from that background. Let's first talk technology. What should they have done in terms of technology? What technologies are now available to prevent stuff like this? Masking. Use masking or encryption, right? What else? DLP, data leakage prevention. You all heard of DLP, right? So they could have used DLP, right? What else? IRM, right? These are all the new buzzwords. We are pitching them, right? DLP is sorry.
Doesn't mean they don't work. That's the problem.
So, you put encryption on your database, buy a DLP for a few crores, right? Buy an IRM, right? You ideas aware of what DLP and IRM? If you're not, I can spend a minute, but if you are, then I won't stretch your patience, right? What else? What else would they have done?
I guess they should have better processes before.
Better processes, better policies. Okay, what else? What else? Security.
So probably the agents who they hire, right?
Right.
The one who actually handle the customer data, that is the one who actually contact the customer.
So the agents are the weak link. Okay, now get into how the agents work, how that whole structure works, right? Which is where the real issue is, right? So we have a number of good